Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my Flosstube episode number 21. If you're wondering why it seems like there's a lot of recently released videos on my channel and the channel only recently started and how am I at 21 episodes, I used to upload my videos on my other channel, which is all about nail polish, and I recently moved it over here so that it would be easier for people to just focus on the specific content that they want. So hi, my name is Phoebe, and this channel is called Moonshine Stitchery because my last name is Moon. My nail polish brand is StitchinMommy, a play on my last name and shiny fingernails. And so I just decided to call this channel Moonshine Stitchery. So everything we're going to talk about here on this channel is cross stitching. I think when I very first started this channel, I talked a little bit about crochet. I also love to crochet, but I've just been totally down the cross stitch rabbit hole for at least the last 6 months. So that's really all we're going to be talking about today. I'm really excited to share with you the projects that I was stitching on this week. I loved everything that I was stitching on. I also enjoyed so much Flosstube in the last couple weeks. I said this week, but I only do every other week updates. So it's been the last 2 weeks since you've had an update from me. So like I said, I've been watching so much Flosstube. I want to share with you guys all the new channels that I've found recently. And then I have a little bit of haul to share with you. Top Knot Stitcher had like 3 sales that I snagged a few things from. And I also got a few patterns downloaded online, so we'll get to that. And then we're going to pick my random project from my last year's Mania projects to have me stitch on this week. We'll go to that, and then plans for the next 2 weeks. So that's the kind of schedule for this program today, and I'm really glad that you joined me. So grab your stitching. Let's go ahead and get into whips. Okay, I think the first project that I worked on after last episode was the fox. This was my random project that I drew from my Mania projects, and this is from Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is the first in that series if you are somehow unaware of that beautiful series that went all year last year. And here is where I got to in this last couple weeks. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Aida called Coat of Doves from Atomic Ranch Fabrics. And I'm enjoying it. The weave on here is sometimes a little tight, like it's a little crunchy feeling as you pull through for the 2 strands, but I'm enjoying it. I'm using the called for flosses. And when I was working on it this time, I thought I should just finish this up. I should just keep going on this till it's done. But then what happened is what always happens to me is I get excited about stitching on other things. So here's how far I got, and I put up on the screen so you can see where I was at last time, so you can see which things I worked on. And so in the past year, this is the only one that's been pulled twice on my random selection process, so that's fun. And so yeah, there's the fox. After the fox, I believe, is when I had my new start. I was planning to start Louisa Barny from Reflets Soie. I see everyone stitching on this, and I was excited to make a go of it. I didn't realize, though, how huge this pattern is. It's so big. And the piece of fabric that I had planned to stitch this on was not going to fit the project. So instead I swapped in a fat half that I had already pre-dyed actually for a different project. So this is going to be interesting. This may be the first Louisa Barny that you see stitched on a piece of fabric like this. This is a 40 count piece that I hand dyed myself. It has a little bit of warm browns over here, but it has a lot of this kind of buttery vanilla shade, and then there's bits of indigo at different strengths through the piece. So it's really, really different, but I think it'll be fun. I'm stitching this 1/2 on this 40 count with the 103s, and it is a conversion from Needle in a Haystack. And so here is the progress that I got on here so far. I was waiting for all my flosses to arrive, and they finally did, so I was able to go ahead and get a start on it, and I am just loving how it is shaping up. The next project that I worked on is this heirloom sampler for my paternal grandmother. This is Matter's Choice from Carriage House Samplings, and I am stitching it again on 40 count, and I'm doing 1/2, and this is another piece of my hand-dyed linen. It looks like that, but the pattern is probably only gonna go to like here, so we'll just get a little bit of that in there, but it's really, really fun, and I have more of this if I wanted to stitch a totally different project on here. The other side of the linen is even a little bit more smoky, so I really, really love it. I love how this is looking. My where I was at last time I've showed you already, but I had the whole top kind of border, not border, but like this title area. It's like the upper title of a paper is what I was thinking about. But my plan was to do the whole house, and I did, and it took me maybe 3 or 4 days, and I love it. I'm stitching this with some floss from Mrs. Sadas. This is in the shade Rouge, and I really, really love it. It's not a highly variegated floss. I would still consider it red, which is why I chose it for this. And it's really, really delightful to work with. I love it. And so as you can see, I did start to put in this little bird here, and I put in this urn at the top, but my main goal was to get the house. So next time I stitch on it, which will probably be in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to finish up these birds and then figure out where I want to go from there. This top part was actually a lot more tedious than stitching the house. The house was so nice. I really loved that. But this is tedious because you had to come in here and do all these little single crosses in there, and so yeah, I had to do a lot of checking my work and things like that, but I'm loving how this is looking. I'm going to be personalizing the pattern down here. There's 2 rows of the alphabet, I think, and so I'm going to, oh, it's interesting, it's 1 whole row of the alphabet and then like half of the alphabet again. So I don't know why it's like that, but I'm going to put her name in there somewhere, and her name is Leona. So I am looking forward to having this hanging on my wall and celebrate my grandma's life. I didn't mean to have 2 new starts this last 2-week period, but I do. I have a second one here for you. Before I share that with you, I'm going to tell you what's on my nails really quick. This is 2 of our new spring shades from StitchinMommy. We have the pink one is But We've Met Before, and the green is Change Your Stars, inspired by A Knight's Tale. This one's inspired by Sleeping Beauty. If you are interested in learning more about my handmade nail polish, you can find a link to that in the description bar below, along with all the other things. So this project is my temperature sal for 2023. I discovered that StitchinMommy had a new temperature pattern, and the other ones were beautiful but not particularly too interesting to me, but then I saw that she had this Quaker inspired one, and so I decided to go ahead and give it a go. So the idea of kind of changing it up every day dependent upon the weather is one that is enjoyable to me. This is a PDF download. I will link it down below, and I'll put a picture up so you can see the whole pattern, what it's going to look like. This is all of January so far. I think I have 1 day missing because I did all of this yesterday morning. And I'm using the varied temperature key. Our temperature does go a little bit lower than the lowest degree on the varied, but it it was the one that fit the best. So here's where I got to so far, and I'm really enjoying it. For this project, I decided to pull my own overdyed flosses from Stash. If you want to do this project and you want to use all the same flosses as I am using, just send me a comment and I will share them with you. I haven't used any of these reds yet, of course, but it was so fun to pull my own rainbow. So I'm doing that instead of the DMC just for funsies, because there are so many fun, bright, overdyed shades that I have that don't ever get called for in a lot of designers' work. And so I thought it would be fun to use some of them instead of just having them sit there unused, because they're not as prim as is popular in a lot of samplers and stuff right now. So this is a piece of, I wanted this to be a small project, so I'm stitching this 1/1 on 25 count. It's just a Zweigart 25 count Lugana in a natural. That's the color, is natural. So it has these little bits in it. When I thought that would be fun for Quaker-esque piece. So that's my second new start for the fortnight. The final project that I worked on in the last couple weeks is my Chatelaine. This is Holland Mandala from Chatelaine, and this is so much fun. I didn't know that I would love this much. One of the main things that I like so much about it is it's using over-dyed silks. There actually is a lot of MPI, and MPI is probably my favorite silk to use, but I also really, really love, it uses Gloriana and Dinky dyes. It uses silken colors. And I started putting in the rainbow treasure braid this time as well. So just really, really enjoying this. I love working with the silks. So this is a piece of 18 count crunchy Aida. It's just the largest piece that I had of Aida because of all the specialty stitches in it and everything, and I needed a really large piece. So I went ahead and went with this, and I think it's not going to bother me that much. I also wanted it to be bright and white because I want that bright contrast between all the blues and the white. So I started in the very middle, going down to the left. So this is the bottom left-hand quarter of the mandala. And so there may be like stark lines in my work when I get all done, according to, you know, where the pattern is divided up in fourths, but oh well, that's all right. This is going to be the first of the windmill patterns that goes right. So the main square is like here, and then each side of it has these windmill designs, and they are different. They are not repeating, but almost everything else is repeating. I finally put in some specialty stitches this week. So we have a Jessica stitch here and an eyelet, and like I said, I was putting in some treasure braid. I think there's 4 different colors of treasure braid that I put in, so I'm just loving it so much. I ordered the beads this week, so I know that the pattern says definitely do the crosses first before you do anything else. If you have a Chatelaine, will you shout out to me if you think that I need to wait and do the beading and the specialty stitches till the very end, because I have a hard time waiting. So really what I want to do is like get all of this all done, like all the back stitching, all the beading, everything in this box before I move on too much to finishing up these 2 areas. So that's my plan, unless you have some words of wisdom for me to tell me that that's really not a good idea. I really want to hear from you. So let me know. And yeah, I just really, really love it. If you haven't started Chatelaine and you think you might like it, just pick up a few flosses every month. That's what I've been doing, and it is so much fun to work on. Next, we're going to talk about acquisitions. So like I mentioned before, I did get some emails from the lovely Top Knot Stitcher, and I found some things that she had on sale for each of those sales. Actually, the one that was recently on the bird projects, I just barely saw that email the other day. So those items won't be in this video. So let's look at the physical items that I have to share with you that I purchased the last couple weeks, and then I'm going to share with you some PDFs, and then I'll meet you back in just a minute. Okay, so it's time for, let's look at the shopping that I did in the last couple weeks. So I mentioned that there was a couple sales at Top Knot Stitcher. So one of them was a sampler sale. So these items I got from the sampler kind of themed sale from Heartstring Samplery. This is Mercy Megginson, 1849. This is Christmas Blessing from Erica Michaels. This is my next planned heirloom sampler. I love this. It's Anna Oman 1873 from Lila's Studio or Lila's Studio, and it's just beautiful. I can already envision it because it's already been done monochromatically in red, and I just love it. I don't know if I want to use this one for my maternal grandmother because she particularly loved Asian artwork, and so I was thinking that I want to find a red work sampler to do for her that has that inspiration and that influence. So if you have an idea for me of a project that you think I might like that definitely shows some some beautiful Asian artistry. Particularly, she loved Japan. Another heartstring samplery from the sampler sale, the dressmaker's sampler. This is Summertime Sunshine sampler from Stitchy Pros, and I didn't have anything from this designer yet. And then lastly from that sale, I love nautical things. This is Memories from Samplers Not Forgotten, and it is so sweet. Our memories of the ocean will linger long after our footprints in the sand are gone. And actually the first of her sales that she had were Halloween patterns were on sale. So I got Hildeboo and Sunflowers 2 from With Thy Needle and Thread. This is Mrs. McGuire Almost Halloween from Pineberry Lane. Then we have Bittersweet and Broomsticks from With Thy Needle and Thread. This is My Pretties from Plum Street Samplers. Teresa Kogut, Silhouette's Quaker. There's a lot to look at in this pattern. And then finally I snagged this book, Casting a Spell from Blackbird Design. All of these little patterns are included in there and they are just so sweet. As for the PDF downloads, I grabbed 4 designs from Carolyn Manning, which I want to share with you. I'm obsessed with all of them. Let me know down below which one you think I should start first, because they're all so beautiful. Whichever one you think I should start first, if I agree with you, that's going to be my new start for the next time between now and when you see me next. So I'm really excited about these 4 beautiful patterns. I love them all so much for how different they are from each other, but all just breathtakingly beautiful. And I have the Carolyn Manning patterns are so easy to purchase because they're PDFs, and so I just snag them every now and then. It's dangerous to follow her on Instagram. But I haven't started any of them, and that's why I want one of these to be my next new start, because I want to start one of hers and see what I think about it, because I think I will like it very much based upon how much I'm enjoying my Chatelaine. So I'm going to pick one of these to try this next 2 weeks. All right, so that is all my haul. I haven't received my Be Stitch Me for the month of January yet, so probably in the next video I will have that to share with you, and those patterns that I got in the bird themed sale from Top Knot Stitcher. I'm very pleased with all of the projects that I currently have, so I'm not really like having that shopping bug that much, but sometimes, you know, when you see a sale, you gotta see if there's anything you need. So, okay, we're gonna pick a project. So as you guys know, in each video, I use a random generator to choose between the 17 remaining projects from my Mania 2022. Some of those 22 projects got finished. Some of them have been expired, that I've decided that I'm not interested in stitching them anymore. So I have 17 remaining, and last week I stitched on the fox. Let's go ahead and see what fate has decided for me to stitch on in this next 2 weeks. Okay, it's time to pick a project for me to work on randomly from this list. These are the 17 projects that I'm still holding on to from last year's Mania. And here is my random generator. Let's see what we get. Number 1. Awesome. Perfect. This is one that hasn't been drawn yet. It's Spring Fever. This is a small little blackbird pattern, and I was wondering when I was finally going to get to work on this again. So really, I haven't got number 5 yet. I haven't got number 6 yet. I don't think I've got 7 or 8. Oh my gosh. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have done all of these. I think that I'm about to DNF, do not finish this Flag of Stars. It's just not enjoyable for me tactily. I don't enjoy that floss and that fabric that I'm stitching on. So we have done this, have not done this. Yes, yes, no, yes. So actually I was thinking I had more. I was thinking that I was over halfway, but I still have about half of these that haven't been pulled yet. So, alrighty, well, we're going to do It's Spring Fever in the next couple weeks and see how much I can get done. Okay, so I'm so excited. I love randomizing things. I love surprises. I always have to include some kind of element like that into my week. I really enjoy spontaneity, which is why I usually don't have like a firm plan of what I'm gonna do. January does have a 31st day of the month, so I will stitch on a Halloween pattern. I'm thinking maybe Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow on the 31st. On the 13th, I was stitching on my Random Mania primitive hair signs, I think Halloween this way. On that day I just was already happening to be stitching on a Halloween pattern, so I didn't pick up Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow then, but I think on the 31st I'll stitch on that. And then before next video I will also get a little progress on my fourth day of the month stitch, which is Blackbird Designs A Salute to Abigail. So I'll get a little bit more project on that, which I love that pattern. And so you'll get to see that. You'll get to see a little project on my Random Mania piece that we just drew. I may or may not do some more progress on my heirloom piece because I'm really, really loving it. So we'll probably do a little bit on that. And I do have a planned start. So you will get one new start for me in the next video as well. I almost forgot to talk to you about the channels that I was watching this week. So I just love filling up my subscription feed with new Flosstube channels to keep me company while I want to stitch. And so let me share with you some of the ones that I was watching this week. I keep saying this week, but you guys know I mean this last fortnight. So let's see, most recently I was watching, of course, a lot of my favorites. You guys know who I pretty regularly watch, but some channels that were brand new to me in the last couple weeks. I was watching Jen Lee. I was watching Jen Lee and her mom on their 24 hours of stitching, the number 24 marathon, and they were just cracking me up. Mothers and daughters just have this way because they know each other so well sometimes, and those two's chemistry is so enjoyable. So I was watching that. A new Flosstube to me is Nikki Noodles Stitching. I love her, and she's an Aussie, so whenever Flosstube channels, the creators have a different accent than my own, for some reason it makes it so much more enjoyable to watch, and she is a cutie. I loved all of her projects, so I definitely enjoyed that. I also was watching Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour with Ellen Reed. That was super fun and actually was my first time checking out her channel. I watched the first 2 episodes from Grandma Nana Stitches, and she is who I saw was stitching on the Quaker temperature chart, I believe. And so that's where I got that idea to download that from. So that was really, really great. I also found the Vintage Stitcher in the last couple weeks. These are probably all channels that you guys know about, but I just like to talk about the ones that are new to me because I feel like when I type in cross stitch in the search bar, it feels like all the same channels come up. And so then when I'm suggested new ones, occasionally I'm like, oh my gosh, and they have so much content. So I go start watching and I'm just so pleased. So the Vintage Stitcher was new to me, and I will link all of these down in the description bar below, as well as all the info you need to know about anything I talked about today. And I can't remember if I mentioned before the Gable Stitcher, but I was enjoying her stuff as well lately too. So definitely check those out if you haven't ever watched those channels. And then as for some of my favorites, of course, if you've never checked out Stitching Faye, Sarah's Stitchy Spot, you guys probably all have watched Saltbox Stitcher, Handwork Maniac, A Kindred Stitcher is one of my faves as well. Brenda and Laura, of course. The Nightly Stitcher, it's nice because I can scan my history on YouTube in the last couple weeks and see what I was watching and tell you guys exactly what you need to go watch. Contented Needleworker Kim. I think those are all my regulars that had new videos in the last couple weeks. Needle and Flax, of course. Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. And I saw that I have a new video from Emily C. It says the Emily C. Whip Parade movie. So that's really fun. So anyway, that's so much content for you to enjoy. One of the most best things about the internet in the last 10 years has been the explosion of Flosstube and how we can all share this way. So that's such a treat for us and a balm to the soul to share this, what has mostly been a solitary hobby for me, with friends around the world. So I really appreciate you joining me for this video today. I will see you back in 2 weeks. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, thumbs up the video. That helps out my channel. And if you're looking for more content from me, I will link my other channels down below if you're interested in nail polish. My husband and I also have a podcast channel where we talk about books, movies, and TV. If you'd like to check that out, I'll link it down there as well. All right, I'll see you back very soon. Take care. Bye.